the book of 1 Corinthians, for example,
Okay.
it talks about hierarchy.
Yes.
You see, Miriam was a prophetess. She was called together with both Moses, Aaron. There were three that had the call. I can put that in the scriptures.
Yes.
Right? But at some point, you know, Miriam was Moses' elder sister. I talked about her role yesterday in the Old Testament. How that as of when they were killing, there was a decree that every child, newborn baby, should be killed. And while they gave birth to Moses, they noticed Moses was a proper child, and they decided not to take his life away. And they put him in the basket and put him in the water, and just trusted God that a miracle will happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now, while that baby was going, what Miriam was doing, what she was observing where this baby would go, and what will happen to him. So while Miriam was following, she now noticed that Pharaoh's daughter came to take her bait. And while she came to take her bait, she now saw this child that was fair to look upon. And she now picked the baby and she loved the baby. So Miriam quickly went to her and told her that, okay, let me get the Hebrew nurses to come and nurse this baby for you, since you love the baby. And that was how Miriam went to call the mom, which was their mom, Jochebed.
Yes.
And while she came to nurse the baby, she nursed the baby in Pharaoh's house, and Moses grew there. He was not killed. So, but what am I saying from there? It came to a point where Moses was born in the eyes of Miriam, right?
Yes.
But it was Moses that had the scepter, the call.
Yes.
And because Miriam was the elder sister, it came to a point that she felt that Moses should listen to them. Because they were the elders. But God didn't appear to Miriam, neither did God appear to Aaron.
Yes.
God appeared to Moses.
Yes.
But it was Moses that God knew he could handle that assignment.
Yes.
They were only meant to be supportive. So Miriam, it came to a point that Moses took an Ethiopian wife, and they began murmuring and complaining. That is it only Moses that God speaks to? That is God not speaking to them also? So it was a taboo for Moses to do that. Can you see that?
Yes.
So because of what she did now, she violated.
God.
She violated what is called authority.
Yes.
And because she violated that, God was so angry. And God wanted to destroy. Moses had to cry and ask for mercy. Moses was a very meek man.
Yes.
If it was our leaders, they will be happy. When you leave that church, they will even say that. They will pray so that calamity should come upon you. God is not a wicked God. That's why the Bible says Moses is the meekest man. Moses, with all of that, he never said anything. He went to God. It was God that called him. And Miriam became leprous. Because at that point, she was violating what is called authority. Yes. So you see, in the book of 1 Corinthians 11, we're talking about, Bible says, I want you to know that the head of Christ is God. So even Christ was under authority.
Yes.
The head of Christ is God. The head of man is Christ. And the head of a woman is man. So, but you see, the problem with this headship is, or this authority is, when one is not functioning where he was placed, or he is placed to function, there will be so many issues. Yes. But even at that, we should be matured enough to learn how to handle things, like settle it. But I want us to know that the authority can also, there's a limitation to authority. For example, the Bible says, obey your parent how? In the Lord. So if your parent want to make you sin, will you also obey them because you are meant to obey them?
No.
But that doesn't mean that you should be violent. That doesn't mean that you should be harsh. That doesn't mean that you should not, everything should be done in humility.
Yes.
Even there's a way I can answer my parents if they want me to do certain things that I know that are extra biblical, that are not in the Bible, that are not scriptural. I won't quarrel with them. I won't exchange words with them. That's wrong. But Peter said, is it better to obey a man rather than God?
It's better to obey God.
So every man should function under authority.
Yes.
If you're a wife, know that your husband is your own authority, and you should not do anything outside him. But there are things that you should not do. Anything that will lead you to committing sin, that will lead you to offending God. Yes. But that doesn't mean you should also do it in arrogance. because the manner which you handle it matters, because you talked about
There should be balance.
it should be balanced. You talked about the character of the wife that is called.
Yes.
There's some people that are very proud,
important.
are very arrogant. There are some that want to, there's this thing that somebody wants to show. And there's something we're going to touch. Very important. We're going to touch. I think that will be the last part of this meeting, where Apostle Paul said women should keep silent in the church. What brought about that? Something brought about that. And we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
So the character you display, right, matters
Very important.
to your ministry. It can ruin your ministry and it can make your ministry.
Yes.